Hi, I'm Caroline. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I have made the very brave decision to do something other than use my hands to doom scroll on my phone for hours on end and use these hands to have some arts and crafts time and bring you along with me. One of the core tenets, if you will, of this channel is a more sustainable approach to fashion. Whether it's extending the life of an item that you already have in your wardrobe through something like a simple alteration so you wear it more, mending a piece that you have been wearing too much, or maybe wanting to give it a bit of a makeover, dye it, add a patch to it, kind of breathe new life into it. Or there's something that I also really love to do, which is if you thrift a lot like I do, coming across these pieces that are pretty damaged and it seems like other people have passed up on it because of something like it's stained a bunch, and using this as an opportunity to be creative and turn this something into an item that is now wearable. It's been months at this point, just an ever-growing pile of projects that I keep telling myself I'm going to get to, and I've decided this is going to be the video that finally motivates me to get to them. So let's get into it. Here's my plan for the first makeover I am wanting to do on this Edwardian era nightgown I found at an antique mall a couple of weeks ago. Upon seeing this, the first thing I thought was I want to dye this because, I mean, if you know me, then you know I am quite gluttonous with my collection of antique Edwardian pieces, most of which are white, and this was pretty cheap and felt like low stakes enough to, I also have dyed stuff before, so like I'm confident in my abilities with that, and then I'm gonna go and hem it as well and maybe turn it from a knee length to more of a mini. I am going to be having some help with both the hemming of this as well as dyeing it from actually the sponsor of this video. Oh hey, back again in the spot to talk about the sponsor of this video, who is Craftsy. So what Craftsy is an online community and amazing resource for any of my fellow DIY enthusiasts watching this, where you can get creative inspiration, advance your skills, or pick up some new skills. They offer more than 2,000 classes in a variety of categories. It's anything from sewing to quilting, painting. They even have cooking, cake decorating, photography. Their classes are led by award-winning instructors that provide step-by-step demonstrations that allow for really easy to follow lessons for makers of any skill level. That video I alluded to earlier about helping me learn more about dyeing clothing is a class from Craftsy by Jane Dunwood all about the art of cloth dyeing, which dyeing clothing is one of my favorite ways to upcycle and really transform a piece. So I was really excited to have access to this video and learn more about the process. If all of this sounds like exactly the sort of community that you've been looking for, I have an amazing deal for you. The first 1,000 of you to click the link in the description box of this video or scan the QR code up on the screen will get a full year of a premium subscription to Craftsy for $1.49. Yeah, an amazing opportunity for new members and anyone who's been looking to take your crafting to that next level. Thank you so much to Craftsy for partnering up with me on this video, and with that, let's get into the rest of it, shall we? For the dye that I use, obviously, as you can maybe tell, I am a fan of the brand Beret dye. I had a few different colors in mind for this. At first, I was like, ooh, I should do some sort of like denim blue or a sage color, or even a kind of like persimmon red like my nails. But honestly, I have so many clothes in those colors, I decided that I should go for something like a kind of golden-y sunshine yellow. Once I decide on the direction of the colors I want to go with my dye, I then come here to where all the magic happens, which is this disgusting, dirty, giant stainless steel pot where I cook up all of my creations. Doing this to show you just the sheer gargantuousness and kind of scale of this pot. I have a very large head, by the way, so like, yeah, it's crazy. Letting this water get really hot and then filling up my pot with it about 2/3 of the way. Turning on my stove and letting it simmer now for about 20 or maybe 25 minutes. I very much have a less is more approach with how I add my dye, because if I need to add more, I can, but if I put too much in, kind of hard to take back. Color is looking good. It's exactly what I was wanting, but before adding my dress in, I should say, if you are using something like I am, which is Rit dye, it does say on the back of the bottle that there are different things you can add, like salt, vinegar, certain dish detergent to your pot to make the results and the color of your item just have the best outcome. And so I am dyeing a dress that is cotton, and it says on the back of the bottle to add dish detergent as well as salt to that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, mix it up, and then put my dress in. You also are gonna wanna get your item wet and completely soaked through, and then kind of wring it out and add it into the pot unfolded. It's happening. Okay. There it is. Okay, it's been about 25 minutes of letting this fabric really soak, occasionally coming to kind of stir it around and just make sure everything is being evenly distributed. The fogging up of the screen right now, I can't. I've been soaking and squeezing this fabric until the water has now turned clear. It's looking a little bit different on camera than in person, probably because of the overhead fluorescent lighting. Trigger warning, scary, nightmare fuel. I'm now going to hang this up outside though and let it dry in the sun on a hanger. Drum roll, please, to the final result. And before you say it, yes, I need to iron and or steam this dress. I tried. It's not working for whatever reason right now. I wanted to go ahead and style this, and I will with all of these little makeovers, how I intend to kind of wear them out. Do I address the color of this first or the fact that I decided not to hem it? I'll do the hem situation because it honestly came down to the way that this item is cut. It has kind of like a crescent shape and is a little bit longer on the sides than in the center, and I really like the way that kind of drapes, and I didn't want to just like clean cut it across and potentially ruin that and have it stick out all weird. And also I realized I don't want a mini dress. I don't want this to be that. That's not what I'm wearing this for, and so it's fine how it is. Now the color of it all, it is a little different than I was expecting, but I think I'm actually happier with this result. I was initially leaning towards something a little bit more yellowy, almost like mustard-esque adjacent, but it does have a bit more of kind of an orangey, like rust color effect happening, and I like that more. I kind of feel like a pumpkin, but I mean, listen, I'm just excited for fall. I'm anticipating it. I'm getting festive. Oh, God forbid. Moving on to our next project, or victim, depending on who you ask. This involves a green cardigan and some chunky wooden buttons. I found this at a Goodwill for $6, and I mean, obviously, I loved the color right off the bat. I mean, you put a redhead in anything that's green, there's not much that she can't do. I also feel like that Nicole Kidman meme in Big Little Lies right now. Do you get it? Anyway, so my button swapping idea came from honestly months of my Pinterest being inundated with photos of articles of clothing or even like bags, headbands, chokers that feature like fun, statement, colorful, or mismatched buttons. Also brands I'm big fans of like Oddly have released collections recently that have kind of more like prominent buttons on the clothing, and it's an easy enough thing to do and kind of swap out with any items that might already be in your wardrobe that you're kind of, I mean, nothing is wrong with this, it is cute, but I do think it could really be elevated by adding some cool buttons. Like I previously mentioned, I've really been into wooden buttons specifically. I love the idea of kind of having these alternate and mixing and matching them. I know for sure I'm going to swap these out, but I also kind of had an idea to maybe add some buttons on the pockets. Just could be, oh wait, what's in this pocket? I didn't even check that. Okay, well, you know, and that's sometimes just what you get with little thrifted gems. Outfit change from my outside clothes to my inside clothes because, as you can see, I am sitting at my craft station, aka on my bed, where I want to sit and watch YouTube videos on my iPad while I remove all these buttons and then reattach these ones. And I also don't have a proper craft station in my place right now, but I'm hoping when I move I can set one up. But for now, this is the station. Going in with a seam ripper on these buttons, it's super easy and quick. And also, I want to keep these buttons for nothing in mind now, but they're cute, and I know that I can do something fun with them in the future. Oh my God, I found more tissue paper. Like, time for big mama button now that I love these, and I'm also well aware that these buttons are not the same size, therefore the openings for the buttons are not going to work with these, and that's okay. I don't plan on wearing this button closed at all. I don't even like the way it fits. This is more so something where with a lot of my cardigans, I throw them on over an outfit. I wear them kind of open. It's a whole layering thing. If for whatever reason though I eventually am annoyed with the fact that I can't button this up, I can always end up swapping out the buttons again. It's not permanent. It's just life. Seriously, such an easy and quick DIY. I think it took me less than an hour in total, but the end result is both really cute and also really effective. I don't know how I managed to take an already very cozy article of clothing and somehow make it cozier, but that's what I feel like these buttons are doing. Just to kind of get, now that you can see it, what I was referring to earlier as this being an item that it's not meant to be closed. It should be just open. Kind of like, oh, last minute, effortlessly just thrown on, running out the door. Like it's nothing. Don't even mention it. Alright, I'm starting to sweat now, so. This also, as much as I like this and I'm happy with the result, I'm probably not going to be actually like effortlessly throwing this on for a couple more months. May I present to you one of the few more simple, neutral, basic, if you will, bags I have in my wardrobe that I decided I absolutely need to cover in fun, kitschy vintage patches. This is, you can maybe hear my keys are in this, been my everyday purse, and when I bought it initially, I did not plan on giving it any sort of makeover. However, this is a real suede bag, and if you know anything about suede, it stains and specifically gets water droplets on it that mark it forever quite easily, and I'm sure there's a way I could clean it off, but honestly it's just gonna keep happening. I'm not precious with items like this. Like, God forbid a woman's holding her iced coffee and it starts to just sweat and the droplets on the side go off onto my bag. I don't want to have to be worrying about that all the time. Adding patches to things is not a new habit of mine, and because of that, whenever I come across one that I like and I'm out, I get it, even if I don't know exactly what I want to add it to. I know in the future, eventually down the line, it'll be added to something. I have all of these I have managed to hoard, and they are unused because, like I said, some have already found a home on other items in my wardrobe, but this is what I got for this purse. The retired and loving it kind of feels like a no-duh. It's just too funny, and the have a nice day is just really cute, and I love me some primary colors, and if you've watched any of my recent videos, you know I especially love pairing them together. Not 100% set in stone, but I do think this is a good jumping off point. Back into my favorite spot, I've made myself even more comfortable this time around because I am gonna be getting down to fucking business, trying to use a very heavy-duty needle to pierce through suede, and hope it goes okay. I have worked with suede and leather before, but with my sewing machine, that with the correct needle can work with those things. However, by hand, I think the most intense thing I've done is like very thick denim. Is this even possible? I guess we'll find out. So I am literally 2 stitches in, and I'm already like, I might need to rethink my approach to this because I like my idea, but this is going, I don't know if I have it in me, honestly, and I feel like there's maybe more efficient ways I could go about this. I've just now started this journey of mine at 3:06, so you can't see that. You're just gonna have to trust me. So let's see when it ends. Or I give up. No, I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna do it. It'll be worth it. And look at that, almost exactly 3 hours later. I cannot feel my fingers right now, but I'm very happy with how it turned out. Thank everything good in this universe. And it was worth it. What ended up being a real labor of love, as I did suspect it to be. I am very happy with the final result of this bag, or I guess I should say, honestly, the start of this bag as to what will hopefully eventually be a purse entirely covered in patches, if I could manage to completely regain proper function of my hands, as well as the will to do that again. As time consuming as this was, I am really excited to see what this evolves into with all of the many more hours and time and love I pour into this. For my next project, I don't know how familiar any of you are with the brand Jerf Avenue, and more so all the controversy surrounding the brand over the past like 2 years. I'm bringing this up not to be shady, well maybe a little bit, but because it is relevant to this DIY, which involves a set I bought from them, I think back in 2020? Maybe 2021, and it is really bad quality. It actually was the last thing I ever purchased from them because I was so disappointed in like truly how shitty this is. At one point I owned multiple things from Jerf Avenue, but everything I ended up reselling except for this set because I am just not comfortable with how bad I think the condition of this is, and it's been sitting in a corner of my closet for years now, and I finally decided I should pull this out and try to make it into something that I would wear. I mean, it's better than just kind of letting it go to waste, so I am going to do that. My plan right now is to just dye it a different color and see if that kind of helps. And if it doesn't, I have a few other things up my sleeve. I felt it would be best for you to kind of get the vision and vibe of what I am wanting with this set to try it on for you before I dye it. The concept of me wearing this out a night with my friends, even going to a wine bar to grab dinner, especially during like a really, really hot summer's day, that's kind of the direction I am seeing this set going. But the thing with the white is not only do I just get freaked out about it getting dirty, but I think that this color makes how bad the quality of this is just all the more noticeable. So I'm hoping by dyeing it that I can kind of rectify that situation a bit. I was going between two colors for this. At first I thought I would maybe do some shade of brown, but I actually have a skirt similar to this in kind of, I'm trying to find it for you, tanny color, right? Yeah. Then I was thinking blue. I was thinking almost, actually, I love a reference for the colors that I'm going for. Kind of like a dusty, almost denim-y blue, like the tip of these cowboy boots, I think would be really nice for this set. And I have the perfect colors to mix and conjure up together. Evening blue and a very appropriately labeled for what I'm wanting, denim blue. Supplies in hand, heading back to where I belong as a woman, which is in the kitchen, of course. That's quite nice. The color or adjacent to it, I'm hoping for this set. Big lesson to learn from dyeing clothing is trusting the process, because this color is exactly to a T what I was envisioning, and I'm really happy with the final result. But let me tell you, at first when I pulled this out of the pot and it was soaking wet, it was so dark. I had to give it a couple hours of drying in the sun to really like watch it transform. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, it still is not that great quality. You can't really change that and the poor construction of it, but the color issue, I can at least check that off my list. I'm actually leaving for a vacation 2 days from filming this, and this is now going on my packing list and into my vacation outfits rotation. So I mean, yeah, I guess I do really like it then. It was a big win. Now it's time for another project involving buttons and this navy wool beret that I found on eBay probably like 8 months ago. And so that's how I also know this like button craze that I'm experiencing isn't a phase, or maybe if it is, it's lasting longer than just like a month. You know, it's been a while. I went hunting for a hat to specifically look like this to cover in buttons based off of a photo I had seen on Pinterest, of course, where I apparently get all of my inspiration. But yeah, 8 months later, I even bought the buttons and I haven't got around to it. My laziness just got the best of me, but I figured, you know what, I'm sitting down, I'm filming this video. There's no time like the present. Inside of me, there are two wolves. One yearns to have a hat covered in wooden buttons, and the other yearns to have a hat covered in pearlescent buttons. I have not yet been able to figure out which wolf is yearning more intensely than the other, and it's kind of, honestly, this is that whole, like, whatever choice I go with, I'll be thinking about the other one and if I should have done that, because I feel like they're both good options. When I think about what the photos I saved for inspiration were and the buttons used in a majority of those photos, they were the pearlescent ones. It's like, okay, I cover the hat in these buttons, and then I'm like, damn, I wish I had a hat with the wooden buttons. I'll get another hat and then cover it with the wooden buttons. Like, it's truly not that deep. Fast forward to the next day, and look what I did. The process of trying to make bangs work with a hat is not for the impatient. That's for sure. Oh my god. Wait. Can you see it? Does it look cute? But wait, because I have more to show you. I've been sitting here getting a little bit button happy, and I had some wooden buttons left over from that cardigan that I made earlier, and I decided to, I had this like, these strips of like leather and suede I picked up from a craft store a while back, and I was like, how cute would a little choker be with the button on it? Get up in there and you could like tie it and kind of pull it forward like that. Yeah, that's good. Hold on though. I decided to make two. I did because, I mean, it's so simple. You literally just cut the strip, make them the same length, you pull it through the center of the button like that. And I thought, how cute would these be in my hair? Picture just braiding my hair and then taking this, and what you do is you kind of just pull the strips and maneuver them around over and over again, and then you can get yourself a really, really adorable hair accessory and solution to any of my fellow bare elastic haters out there. And then just tie it in a knot. You can have the strips like hanging down, or you can like keep kind of pulling them around. It's adorable. And you can get two of them. You know when you're having a bad hair day and you're just like, you know what, the back of my head is none of my business? Well, I feel the opposite way when I'm wearing this hat. It's like actually what's happening back here is everybody's business, and all of them need to see and appreciate it. I did run out of these buttons I was using for this, and I'm happy with how it looks, but I could definitely go back in and add some more, especially kind of moving them forward. So from the front, you can see that there is some buttons happening on this as well as from the back, but like, it's also kind of fun to turn around and just have this unexpected like surprise happening. This is also another item that is probably not going to be getting a lot of wear time for another couple of months at the minimum. With this though, arts and crafts time has concluded. Well, for now. If you liked this video and this kind of content, please let me know in the comments, and I can start to do this more on my channel if that is something you're interested in. I need to put these down. I'm also, this has got to come off. This is a health hazard. Now realizing I didn't even pull out my sewing machine for this. All of this stuff actually, you don't even need a sewing machine to do. It's very entry level, kind of where I'm beginning with this. Because I do, if you want to replicate any of these, I want them to be easy enough. So with that, oh my god, freedom from my own just overactive sweat glands. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really do hope that you liked it. And also, if you want me to do more kind of crafty upcycling videos, let me know if you have anything specifically that you would want to see in any kind of makeover. All right, now I'm gonna show you the mess that I got waiting for me. Okay, well, you know, I hyped it up and it's pretty tame now that I'm looking at it. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.